begin together on our backs. As you rest onto your mat, allow your eyes to close and your muscles to feel relaxed. Honor however it is that you have showed up on your mat today and start to transition into practice by becoming present in the moment. We all have a tool inside us to use to help and aid in this, which is our breath. Tame the wandering mind by focusing on the inhales and the exhales. The very heart of yoga is breathing. Without our breath, we are simply exercising, but with it, we are practicing yoga together. Let's try to actively slow down the breath now. So take more time to breathe in. And take more time to breathe out. Taking full, big inhales, really making room for more fresh air. And then exhaling to empty the lungs completely all the way out. Inhale a big full breath. Push past what is your habit. Sipping a little more oxygen at the top. And then exhaling fully. Letting it all go. Big full breaths in. And big full breaths out. Use your breath to calm yourself. Inhale. And exhale. Slow, controlled breaths in. Slow, controlled breaths out. Inhale confidence. Exhale doubt. Inhale confidence. Exhale doubt. Inhaling slowly. And exhaling completely. Big full breath in, let your belly rise. Big full breath out, let your belly fall. We're going to maintain this connection to the breath through our practice together, pairing it with the movements. On your next inhale, reach up overhead, making yourself as long as you can, and then draw your right knee in towards you, interlacing the hands just below the knee and giving yourself a hug. Keep the left leg long and the spine long on the mat. Feel free to circle out that right ankle, working out any tension, and always breathing deeply. Let's let that side go. Extend the leg out. Breathe in, reach up. And exhale, left knee comes in. You're using the compression of that leg towards you to get rid of any stale old air at the bottom corners of the lungs. Breathe easily here, circling out the left ankle if that feels good for you. relax your jaw and your face. Inhale to reach up, lengthening your body out, and then using your core to draw both knees in towards you this time, giving yourself a hug. Thank your body for carving out the time to practice yoga today. Take both feet to the mat now. We want them to be hip-width apart, so there should be a space between your knees. And walk your feet so that the ankles are underneath the knees, so walking them back towards the bum. Take your hands down beside you, spreading the fingers, engaging the hands, and then take an inhale to lift your hips up to the sky. Slow exhale to lower all the way back down. Big breath in to lift. Big exhale to lower. Use your breath here. Inhale, floating the hips up. Exhale to lower back down. Keep energizing the hands. Push to the back of the head as you lift the hips up. And exhale to tap the sacrum back down. Last time, inhale to lift all the way up, come a little higher. And then exhale to slowly come all the way back to the mat. Take your right arm up overhead and guide yourself over to the right side. Collecting yourself there for a breath in. And then pressing to the palms to guide yourself all the way up to hands and knees, tabletop position. Knees are underneath the hips here. Toes are untucked and wrists are under the shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and try not to drop your face towards the mat, which looks like this. And instead take the back of the head to the sky to align the spine. Take a big breath in to lift your tailbone, lower your belly, and look forward. Exhale to tuck the tailbone round the spine to gaze in. Big breath in, starting with the tailbone, lowering the belly button to the mat, gaze comes forward. And then exhale, really push the ground away here. Inhaling, this is cow pose. And exhaling, this is cat pose. Warming up the muscles that support our spine and posture. Inhale, lower the belly. Big exhale, dome the back, round the spine. Big inhale, finding cow pose one more time. And exhale, stretch between the shoulder blades, and then return to a neutral spine. From here, extend your right fingertips forward, guiding them along the mat and pressing firmly into the floor. Return all the way back. Extending the left fingertips forward, give a firm press, and then bring it back. Starting with the legs, right one extends back, pressing to the top of the toes, and then lead it back in. And then the left leg extends back, leading it back in. Let's work in opposition now. Right arm comes forward, left leg comes back, pressing into the mat and return to center. Inhale to reach left hand, right leg. And big breath in to come back. Let's inhale to reach in opposition. When you're there, option to float all the way up to create a line from fingertip to toe. And then exhale to return all the way down. Let's take a big breath in to reach in opposition, left hand, right leg this time. Creating a long line and exhaling to come back all the way down. From here, let's extend the left leg back, coming onto the toes. Right hand comes to the right hip and begin to peel that right shoulder back, coming into a gentle twist here. You're welcome to keep your hand on your hip, reach straight back, or all the way up to the sky, whatever feels good for your shoulder. Gaze down towards the mat, and then step that back foot in, extending the right leg back, coming onto the right toes. Left hand comes to the hip, and begin to twist over to the left side this time. Maintain length in that right leg, lifting up behind the right knee, keeping the hand there or reaching back or up, whichever feels good for you today. Let's take one more big breath in, and then exhale to unwind, coming all the way back. From here, we'll find child's pose. Big toes touch, knees come wide, sink your hips down and back, and melt your forehead towards the mat. Balasana, the pose of a child. A gentle hip opener, as well as an inversion. Take this opportunity to breathe into the back side of the body now, filling it up with fresh air. And exhaling fully. If at any time you need rest, please come back to this pose and join us again when you're ready. Take a deep, full inhale and a big exhale. Relaxing your jaw here. Big breath in. Full breath out. Guide yourself slowly all the way back up to tabletop position. From here, we're going to walk the knees back, so a wide table. Keep walking them back and then come onto your forearms, replacing your elbows with your hands, lowering the pelvis towards the mat. This is Sphinx pose. Avoid sinking down towards the mat, but instead push the ground away, lengthening out your spine and neck. If you would stand this posture up, you'd see that we're in a pretty big back bend here. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, walk your elbows a little farther forward. Let's take a big breath in, and then exhale to lay down, taking the hands underneath the shoulders now. Try to walk your feet in towards each other, and then inhale to come up to Cobra pose, a baby back bend. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, lead with the back of the head coming up, reaching up, and exhale to come back down. Inhaling all the way up to Cobra, and exhaling all the way down. Let's take an inhale to come up, pausing at the top, and then perhaps floating the hands an inch above the mat. This is locust variation. Let's join the legs now, lifting them up, lifting everything away from the mat, and then we'll take a rest, making a pillow for the forehead and resting onto the mat. Breathe deeply. Something to keep in mind when we're doing those back bends, cobra poses, is try to let go of the glutes. They want to take over. Try to let your back muscles do the work here. When you're ready, we will meet standing. Let's stand in Tadasana, mountain pose, with the feet parallel hip width. Palms facing forward, fingers spreading wide. Shoulders drop down away from your ears. And stand nice and tall, closing the eyes. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Root down through your feet into the earth and feel connected and supported here. Find the breath as we move into our standing series together. Take a big inhale, float the eyes open, and touch the hands at the heart. Inhale to sweep the arms down and up, gazing up, and exhale to lower them down. Take a big inhale to reach, and an exhale to lower. Inhale to reach, and exhale to lower. Let's step to the top of our mat now. Big breath in to sweep the arms wide and high. Exhale to hinge from the hips, bowing forward, relaxing the hands on the top of the head towards the earth here in our first forward fold. We're warming up to do our sun salute A together. Let's take an inhale to lengthen, coming part way up. Take your fingertips to the shins and draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale to fold. Take a big inhale, let's do that again, coming halfway up, and exhale to fold. One more time, inhale to lengthen, your back is nice and strong and straight. Exhale to deeply fold. Inhale to reach wide, reach high, standing up, and exhale, hands come to the heart. If you've never moved through Sun Salute A before, feel free to watch me on the first one and join me on the next. Let's take a big breath in to reach the arms down and up. Exhale to bow forward, hinging at the hips, relaxing the hands and the top of the head to the mat. Inhale to lengthen, partway lift, and an exhale to plant the hands, stepping back to find our first downward facing dog. Feet are hip width apart, fingers are spread wide, hips come nice and high. Take a bend to the knees, and then inhale forward to high plank, top of a push-up. Lower the knees, and then hug the elbows in towards the body to lower all the way back down towards the mat. Untucking the toes when you're there. Take an inhale to come partway up. We did this already. And exhale to fold. From here, tuck your toes, and then guide yourself all the way back to down dog. Try to avoid stepping your feet closer to your hands, keeping the dog nice and long. Pedaling out the heels if that feels good. And then inhale to look forward. Exhale, walk forward, top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen partway up. Exhale, deeply fold. Inhale, reach wide, reach high. Standing up and reaching up. Hands come to the heart. Let's move through the Sun Salute together. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bow forward. Forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, plant the palms and step back, downward facing dog for a big breath in and a big breath out. As you inhale, come forward to high plank. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. Lower the knees and hug your elbows towards you as you lower the heart and the hips together. Untuck the toes, inhaling up to cobra. Try not to use those bum muscles. Tuck your toes and then guide yourself all the way up and back to downward facing dog for a big breath in and a big breath out. Take an inhale to look forward and an exhale to walk forward. Big breath in, lengthen partway up. Big breath out, fold forward. Inhale to reach the arms wide and high, stand up. Hands come to the heart. I'll face you now. We're going to come into flowing Buddha, taking the feet a little wider than the hips and turning the toes out to the sides. Take your hands to the hips to start, standing nice and tall. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, drop your tailbone down towards the mat, bending at the knees. Inhale to come straight back up. And exhale to lower. Try to tuck your tailbone under. Inhale to come up. And exhale to sweep all the way down towards the mat. Inhaling up. I'm going to show you what we want to try avoid here, which is sticking the bum out. So instead, try to tuck and come straight down and up. Just something to keep in mind as we move through this. Let's add the arms. Arms reach up as you inhale. And as you exhale, sweep all the way out and down. Gather at the bottom, inhale to reach up. Exhale to open, gathering together, coming to the heart. Inhale to reach, exhale to open. Hands touch, big breath in. Let's inhale to reach up. And this time add the legs, bending the knees as you open, gather at the bottom. Inhale to slowly straighten, reaching up. Exhaling to open and bend straight down. Big breath in to reach. Big breath out to open. Inhale all the way back to center. That was flowing Buddha. Let's take the hands back to the hips, heel toe your feet back together and come back to the top of your mat. Take a big breath in, stepping your right foot back and turning the right toes to the top right corner of your mat, pulling that right hip forward to match the left. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to lead with the heart coming forward into pyramid pose to find a stretch down the back of that left leg. Try to keep both legs strong and straight. Another thing to keep in mind is to try not to let the face drop towards the mat, remembering that the back of the neck, the cervical spine, is part of the entire spine. So keeping one long line from tailbone to the crown of the head. Breathe here. Use your breath to get into the stretch a little deeper. You'll notice it helps. Let's come all the way back up, standing up. And then step your back foot forward, shaking it out. Draw your shoulders up, inhale. Exhale, drop them down and back. And again, inhale and exhale. Good, hands come to the hips. Left foot comes back. Left toes point to the top left corner of the mat and pull your left hip forward in line with the right. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, coming forward to feel a stretch now down the back of the right leg for pyramid pose on this side. Remember, when you first come into a stretch, it's always most intense, and as you stay there and breathe, knowing you're in control, more space becomes available. No one is naturally flexible in their hamstrings, so get rid of any self-doubt that you may be feeling here or experiencing, and just be where you are, breathing deeply. Let's come all the way back up, stepping that back foot forward. Relax that side, inhale, draw your shoulders up. Exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Nice job. I'm going to face you now, and we are going to work into some balancing. Take your hands to your hips with your feet directly under your hips. And begin to shift the weight into the toes, lifting the heels up. And exhale to set them back down. Take a big inhale to rock the weight forward, coming up. And then exhale to lower back down. Big breath in, rise up. And slow exhale, coming down. Inhale to come up. And exhale to lower. Use your breath, inhale as you come up this time, pause at the top. Know that it's totally normal if your ankles are a little shaky. If you're willing, drop your hands down towards the mat. Add them to the party here, reaching all the way forward slowly, challenging the balance and the core. Connect to your breath as you concentrate, and then exhale to lower everything to the mat. Shrug your shoulders up, inhale. Exhale, drop them down. And inhale. And exhale. Great job. Let's come back to the top of the mat, taking the hands to the heart, and we'll move through a flow. Take a big breath in to reach. And a big breath in to bow forward. Take an inhale to lengthen, partway up. And an exhale to plant the palms, stepping back to down dog. Noticing the length you've created, especially after that pyramid pose. Let's take a big breath in. Coming forward, high plank, Palakasana. Lower the knees, lower the rest of the body to the mat. Untucking the toes. Use your back muscles here. Inhale up, cobra. And exhale back down. Tucking your toes. Pushing yourself all the way back and up to downward facing dog. Our final one today. Let's take a big breath in here. And a big breath out. One more inhale. Full exhale. Inhale to look forward and exhale, walk forward. Take a big breath in to lengthen partway up. Let's finish off this flow together. Exhale, bow. Take an inhale to reach wide or reach high, standing up, reaching up, and hands come to the heart. This concludes our standing portion today. When you're ready, grab a sip of water and we'll meet seated onto our mats. As you sit on your mat, keep your knees bent. Take your hands all the way up behind the thighs, pulling yourself in towards those knees, sitting tall. Use your bicep muscles to pull yourself a little taller. Try to avoid rounding the spine, which looks like this. We're working on our posture. You're welcome to stay here in boat pose, or slowly challenge yourself by walking your toes in towards you. Actively staying nice and long, using those bicep muscles to sit tall. Breathe easily in and out. See if you can sit a little taller and then lower the heels, wrapping your hands around you to give yourself a hug. Let's try that again. Hands come up behind the thighs. Pull yourself up, sitting tall, and slowly walking the feet in towards the body. Option here, you can play with floating a shin up, parallel with the mat. Feel free to hover just an inch or come parallel, lifting one followed by the other. And as you do this, maintaining the length in that spine, trying to avoid the rocking back and rounding. Great job. Keep playing with it. Remember, it's just for fun, just to help out the posture and strengthen our deepest core. Let's take a break. Wrap your hands around yourself and enjoy the rest. I hope you can almost feel that sunshine coming through the camera. Let's lay back onto our backs, keeping the knees bent. From here, cross your right ankle up and over that left leg, opening the right knee all the way up, flexing the right toes. Take your right hand to the thigh and then guide that knee away from you, working on the external rotation of the hip here, getting into that hip, but also the glute muscle, the right bum cheek. As we slow down here in supine pigeon pose, feel free to close the eyes. Notice if you've tucked your chin towards your chest. Find length in the spine by creating space there. And relax your jaw and the muscles around your eyes. Feel the warmth coming at you and breathe deeply. Slow, big breaths in. Slow, big breaths out. Fully inhaling. Completely exhaling as you step that right foot to the mat. Take a breath in at center, and when you're ready, cross the left ankle up and over, flexing the left toes and guiding the leg away by gently pressing it away from you with that left hand. Keep in mind, one side often, if not always, feels different than the other. Observing where this side is today and just listening to it. Breathe into the place where we are stretching. Come back to slowing down the breath. And let's step that foot to the mat. From here, sweep your arms out to the sides to a T or bend at the elbows for cactus arms. Walking your feet a little closer to you and stepping the knees and feet in together to touch. We're setting up for supine twist. Inhale to lift the hips up, steer the right hip down, set it down, and allow the knees to fall over to the right, keeping them glued together. You can reach that left arm straight back to the back wall, and then over time, slowly guide that left elbow down towards the front of your mat, gazing over to the left to complete this twist. We're working towards stacking knees and hips, and over time grounding the left shoulder blade. This is not only a twist for the mid and upper spine, thoracic and cervical spine, but also a great stretch for the left pec muscle, pectineus. Everything we do is in front of us. Chopping, driving, texting, everything. And so these muscles get really tight. If your left shoulder blade is far off the mat, do not worry. Simply breathe here and allow it time to stretch out. Use your breath to help this stretch. Turn your gaze back to the sky and then lead one knee up, followed by the next, and realign your hips when you get to center. Take a clearing breath in and a full breath out. And let's set up for the second side, stepping your knees and feet in together, floating the hips when you're ready. Steer the left hip down, set it down, and come all the way over to the left. Glue your knees together, keep them stacked, hips stacked. Reaching straight back with that right arm, and then over time slowly opening it up, gazing over towards the right, grounding down through that right shoulder blade. Guide yourself into this twist gently, with the breath assisting you. Feel free to close your eyes here and keep your mind in this present moment by coming back to the deep inhales and the full exhales. Notice how wonderful it feels to take a deeper breath. Inhaling confidence, exhaling doubt. Turn your gaze to the sky. Return the knees back up to center and realign your hips when you get there, pulling your knees in towards you for a final hug. Thanking your body for all it's done today, perhaps for the first time, perhaps not. Either way, I hope you enjoy the benefits that you have created today from your yoga practice. Let's find Shavasana, extending the legs out to the mat, palms face the sky down beside you, and eyes close. Shavasana is our final pose of rest. It's our active relaxation. The body is calm, but the mind stays strong, focusing on the breath and focusing on relaxing each muscle. All you have to do here is breathe, letting the floor support you as you rest. Challenge your mind to stay in the moment. Take a full big breath in and a complete breath out. Maintain this connection to your breath for the next few moments without my voice to find full relaxation. My heart honors yours. Namaste.